Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Music is My Business podcast live Q&A. We're talking about sync. We're talking about music business, music production, and I teach producers how to make money with their music by showing them how to produce, prepare, and pitch placement-ready music for TV. So shout out to everybody in the stream, man. Let me see where you guys are from. Let me know who you are and where you're from and what you do. Drop it in the chat. I'm excited to be back for another week of Q&A, answering questions, getting you unstuck, and all of that dope stuff. So let me see what I got in the building, man. Drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you do, and then we're gonna dig into it. This week has been pretty productive week. I'm not mad. I'm almost done. I'm working on the last track of this album that I've been working on for centuries, and finally getting around to like finishing that up. So after, well, we got live music reviews after this. After I finish that, then I'm gonna finish up this last track, send it to the writer, and then he's gonna finish knocking them out, and then we're gonna go from there. And then I guess probably, I'm sure it'll, we got like 7 songs, so it's probably gonna spark a round of revisions and all of that stuff. So we'll go through that. But just glad to be done with phase 1 of this project, because I don't know, for whatever reason it took me way longer than I thought it was going to take. So we got Darren G in the building, Darren Grant here in Atlanta, and I'm a music producer and composer. That's what's up. Welcome, Darren. Good to see you. Super dope. Let's see if we have some wins in the community this week. I know last week we had quite a few wins. So we're gonna check in on those wins. LV Drizzle is in the building. Greetings, fam. Tapping in from LA. Resides in Las Vegas. I don't know what I was about to make LV stand for, but music producer. Ex-Vicer, Pennsylvania. What's good? Memphis back at it. We got Aaron in the building. I see you, Aaron. Love it. There we go. Boom. So let me check these wins, man. Let's see if we got some wins in the Sync Producer Hub community over at syncproducerhub.com. We have one that was actually just posted like 23 hours ago from the homie James McGregor. Says, contract finally signed. Well, after a few weeks of reviewing my first music licensing contract for 2024, the contract is finally signed, sealed, delivered, and approved. The briefs have been rolling in, and I have a song that's been approved to upload. Stems, let's grow. Thanks, Anthony Clint Jr. Absolutely, man. Congratulations. That deserves a DJ horn. Shout out to James, man. Just locked in his first sync deal, sync licensing agreement. That's exciting. I remember, you never forget that first one, man. That's the one that gets the ball rolling. That's the one that shows you that it's possible your music is ready for TV and film, and you have something that someone else needs. And that's just the beginning, man. So congrats. I'm super excited, man. Trying to help more producers get to their first sync publishing deal. In fact, if you want to get to your first sync publishing deal within 90 days and fast track this whole process, I want you to go to tvplacementmastery.com. I'm about to do one more TV placement mastery for the year. So this is like your last chance for the year to like try and lock this joint in as soon as possible. It's a fast track program. We don't play around. We get straight to the stuff that works. So if that's you, go to tvplacementmastery.com, apply, because it is invite only. I don't work with every producer. Super duper picky, and we only allow I think this next group, we're only allowing like 6 to 8 producers. 8 is going to be the absolute max, because I work like hands-on with everybody, critiquing music and all that stuff. So definitely go to tvplacementmastery.com, get your apps in before that shuts down for the year. LV Drizzle says, congrats. I love it. Aaron says, way to go. Let's go, man. I love it. Shout out to my Sync Producer Hub people on the member only chat. I see you guys. If you guys have any questions along the way, just raise your hand. I'll bring you up either on audio or video, or you can just drop it in the chat. It's all good. We got Miguel in there. We got G-Fi. I see y'all. So yeah, man, drop your questions in the chat. If you guys have questions for the new people joining the stream, let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you do. And then we're gonna dig into these sync questions, man. It is no wait, is it no, it's not November. It's about to be November. And listen, these Black Friday, people are starting Black Friday. These companies are starting Black Friday like 2 months early. They ain't playing around. So the deals have been coming in, and yeah, producers everywhere just have money draining from their wallets, their accounts, their cards, their phones because the deals are crazy. I know Plugin Alliance, crazy deals. I just came across this new plugin that I dropped in the community. I was working on the track like right before I came on, and I'm like, you know what? I just might go ahead and do it and see how that thing works. So I may grab that once I finish up to put that Snapback by Cable Guys. Exactly. Thanks, G5. It looks super dope. So yeah, I might go ahead and grab that and kind of play around with some drums and stuff like that. It seems pretty cool. Cable Guys, I've never heard anything bad come from Cable Guys. I mean, they always make some pretty cool, innovative stuff. So I'm interested to see what that's about. But yeah, man, so many plugins that, we got to walk away with something, right? We can't just go through Black Friday and not get anything. So excited about that. A personal win finalized. Well, I won't say finalized, but I finally got a quote, an official quote that I was able to sign from a TV project. It's so funny, man, because in this space, it's like a hurry up and wait, and then sometimes they're like hurry up, and then you like why did I even rush? So they had like reached out. And it was just like, hey, we're about to send this over today. We need you to sign it ASAP. Like, make sure you're available and stand by your email so you can get this back to us immediately. So I was like, bet, I mean, the email's on my phone. It'll show up. It never came. It was like weeks before they finally sent it through. So that came through this week. So I was able to sign off on that. Which kind of gets the process moving. So as long as they keep everything locked to picture and they don't make any last minute swaps, then we'll have another placement come through. And then from there, we go through that cut the check process, which is the best part of it all, right? So excited about that, that's kind of moving forward. And we'll see once I'm able to talk about it, I'll share more details on what that placement ends up being. So yeah, let me see. Miguel says I got Transit 2, super dope. G5 says he's gonna get that plug in. Flair says imagine you had a magic gas pill. If you could have one piece of gear, what would it be? Gear acquisition syndrome is what GAS stands for those who don't know. For the new people, for the newbies, GAS stands for gear acquisition syndrome. If I could have one piece of gear, that's tough. If I could have one piece of gear, man, okay, we got to add context to this. Does this not include, obviously, the computer? Does this not include a MIDI controller? Because I need that. I have to have some type of keys to play something. What are we including before we pick this one piece of gear? I need to know that, Flares, and then I can answer this question. Thank you, G5. I appreciate it. LV Drizzle says, do you guys always have the Shades of Sync in Atlanta? I'm out in LA and I will be back in Vegas, Lord willing, by New Year's. If you guys come to Vegas, most definitely let me know. We've been talking about bringing Shades to another city. So we're going to talk about it. This one this year is in Atlanta. We did the first one last year in Atlanta. Shout out to Atlanta. We're definitely discussing bringing it to other cities. After this one, we'll probably, like, once we start planning the one for next year, we'll kind of, just talk about what that looks like. Could it be Nashville? Could it be LA? I feel like there's so many already in LA. I mean, obviously we'll probably make a trip out there at some point, but I feel like there's so many there. Like, let's bring it to cities where it may not be as much, maybe. And surprisingly, there's not like a ton of sync conferences in Atlanta. You know, there's workshops from different organizations and things like that, little like pitch sessions and stuff, but not a lot of conferences like annual. I think matter of fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think was it Georgia State University? I think they put something on. They've been doing something recently. But yeah, there's more kind of popping up, but none of them are like Shades, I'll tell you that. So shout out to everybody coming to Shades of Sync. If you haven't secured your ticket for that, the link is in the description, shadesofsync.com. And I would definitely get that joint. Like, well, by the time for those who are listening live, you have an advantage because by the end of the weekend, the ticket prices are going to go up. If you're listening to the podcast, you've already missed it. By the time this episode comes out, you missed out. So you better get on the early bird list for next year. Or hopefully you already grabbed your ticket. But yeah. All right. Aaron says, just found out about BRSO articulate for FL. Yes, I'm a newbie. Not having a key switch multi-articulate is changing my life. I love it. Love to hear it. I don't know much about FL myself, so don't feel bad. Is there any specific genre of music that tends to get synced more compared to another? I think like any of like the current popular genres, that stuff always gets placed a lot, but a lot of hip hop stuff, a lot of pop, a lot of feel good stuff, singer songwriter stuff, mid to up tempo stuff. So many genres get placed. Tension stuff, orchestral stuff, obviously, because you have trailers and all that stuff. All types of stuff. Funk, a lot of different genres. I mean, like 9 times out of 10, you produce a genre that is needed somewhere in the sync space. So it's just a matter of just kind of listening, watching TV, watching movies, and just paying attention. And really just keeping your ears open. Flair says, your dream piece of gear, not desert island, but to satisfy your ultimate gear acquisition syndrome. Oh, okay. So it's not a desert island situation, like, but a dream piece of gear. Do I have like something that I dream of? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think I have like that one thing that it's just like, I have to have this and I will be unstoppable. I don't know. You caught me at a weird space because I just been minimizing a bunch of stuff. So now I'm like, I'm not even thinking about gear, like hardware stuff. I do want another one of these SSL controllers. Maybe the UC1. Wait, is this the? Yeah, I think it's the UC1. And I guess you can. I don't even know if I would say dream, but it's on my list. So maybe that. That's it. That's all I have. I don't have much. Anybody else chime in? Y'all probably have way better dream pieces of gear than I do right now. Miguel says SP404 MK2 or the Standalone Push. No questions asked. I rock with that. Standalone Push is dope. Now, for a moment, the Standalone Push was on my list. It was on my list, but the only way I was gonna get it was if I stayed in Ableton long enough to like know, like I know what I'm doing in Ableton, but to stay in it long enough to just be 100% comfortable and just like, okay, I'm okay with working in this DAW for like the rest of the year. I didn't get there though. So I was like, I'm gonna hold off on the push. Now, if I get back in Ableton, I start fooling around and, you know, fall in love with it. Maybe, you know, I think that, well, naturally I would absolutely get a push. Like if I'm using Ableton most of the time, I'll go ahead, I'll get the push. And then that'll be, you know, that'll be kind of like the main piece of gear. So I don't know. LW says, bring it to Toledo, Ohio. There's nothing there. LOL. LW, don't be talking about my hometown, but it's facts though. There's nothing in Toledo. We actually, shout out to my guy Ali J Music. He actually put on a conference that I was a part of some years ago. It was the Music Speaks Volume, and we did that. We brought that to Toledo, and that was pretty dope to do that, because Toledo. It's not a lot there, man. Unfortunately, it's a lot of talent there, though. Like I'm telling you, if you want talent, you want talented musicians, singer, like just creatives. Between Ohio and Michigan, full of them. It's insane. But as far as like the information to like break out of just that local market and local level of information, you kind of get to a point where you have to break out and seek mentorship. Like luckily we have the internet and stuff like that, but you know, you gotta find a bigger pond to swim in, so you can get around people who are like doing more, know more, so you can learn more, you grow more, which is how it works. And then, you know, you can go back and share it if they want it. So yeah, non-genre related, anything with vocals is starting to get hot. I agree. I see a lot of briefs for vocal stuff. Yeah, they're loving songs right now. An instant music creator chip that reads your mind and creates what you're thinking of. That would be next level. Like if I had that, the album I'm working on now would be done like 3 months ago. It just would have been done. Like literally think, and it just shows up in your DAW, like laid out how you thought it, bruh. Yeah, I feel like in order for that to happen, like you're gonna have to, it's gonna get weird, because I feel like they're gonna have to, it'll be like the government implanting something for that kind of technology to happen in your brain or so. Like that's just crazy. But if they could do that, dude, we'll be creating that light speed. It's crazy. How about an old school Casio? Word up. Hey, that's where it started, man. Casio, that was my first keyboard. When I was learning how to play keys, it was a Casio, had the speakers. That joint, yeah. I learned a lot on that. I broke all the F keys for whatever reason, broke on that thing too. So I would try and super glue them together. They would just break again. It was real ghetto. It was tacky, but you know, had to find workarounds to get around that F key. You don't realize how much you need it until it's broken. All right, Flair says my recent ASCAP statement was $4.23, so I splurged on a medium-sized pumpkin spice latte. Shout out to Flairs. That's what I'm talking about. Most producers can't afford a medium-sized pumpkin spice latte during this season because they haven't started getting their music placed in TV and film. So the fact that you made $4.23 and got a pumpkin spice latte is a win. DJ horn. That's incredible. I was talking to another composer friend of mine, and we talk about that, man. Like, enjoy the process and start with the micro goals. Like, yo, I want to be able to afford a medium pumpkin spice latte. Or, I want to go for the latte, but then I also want to add the pumpkin spice loaf. Did something just go off? Or you can make it a goal to get a whole combo meal. This is light. That's doing weird things. And then make it a goal to pay for a bill. Maybe pay for your cell phone bill, right? And then pay rent, car note. And then just gradually keep going up until you're paying bills with your music. It's baby steps. Baby steps. That's all. So congrats to Flairs, man. Was it Shaman? Is that how you pronounce it? Please correct me. I butcher names. Oh, okay. What's good? Do I ever do in-person mentoring sessions in Atlanta? I don't. And the reason why is just because honestly, I don't have the bandwidth to do it. But I tell you what I do want to do eventually soon for members in the Sync Producer Hub. I would love to do like some random just meetups and just hang out, like just find a spot, local spot, and then we can just meet up. So I may do that definitely for Sync Producer Hub members, just so we can just, meet up, hang out, meet everybody in person and do things like that. So definitely stay tuned in the community for when we do something like that, because I think that's dope. Miguel says, I got 2 questions, but I might need to hop on audio to not type a lot. Let's go. All right, let's bring Miguel up. Let me see. All right, Miguel. Oops, hold on.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So I got 2 questions. Maybe there are times together in terms of the topic.
Okay.
First, I've taken several courses of sync licensing, and when they talk about study what's out there in the market, like Netflix and whatnot, I don't know exactly what are we actually listening for. Is it this type of music, instruments, live? That's not what and the other one was, so I got a break that I made, and it's not that it got rejected, but they told me that they needed more like feel to it. I don't know exactly what they're referring to. Is it anthemic? Is it like the melody more catchy?
Yeah. Okay. To answer the first question, what are you listening for when you're, studying the music in the marketplace? The things I like to look for, number one is obviously like the style of music, style or genre. So what I like to do, I'll pull out like a notepad or iPad or something, and I'll make a couple columns. First column would be style, and then I'll just tally marks. Like if I hear this genre, I'll write the genre down, create a tally mark. Next genre, tally marks. And I was like, okay, what am I hearing the most throughout this episode? I'll just pick a show and then pick an episode and just make note. Okay, I've heard this style of music. And then by the end of the episode, which ones did you have more tally marks for, right? So that's probably a sign that's a popular one. You can even go with the second highest genre style. Next thing I'm looking for is, was the track slow, mid, or up tempo? And then I'll do the same thing, tally those up. That's going to give you an idea of tempo wise, like what's being used the most. Next, I'm just kind of listening for, and you kind of touched on all of them, is the instrumentation. Like what instruments are being used? What instruments do you hear the most? Is it a lot of brass? Is it a lot of strings? Is it a lot of synth stuff? Is it more like acoustic instruments, piano, guitar, live drums, or is it more electronic based? Kind of listening to things like that. Especially if you have an idea of like a show that you think your music may fit on, or you could just do this for any show and just kind of get an idea between a reality show, between more of a scripted show, a movie, commercials. You can kind of do the same thing. Sit down for maybe an hour and then just listen to the commercials, because commercial music, you may hear different trends just in ads in the advertising space, and just do the same thing. So those are like the main things I'm listening for: instrumentation, tempo, and style or genre of music, and then I'll kind of go from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, dope. And then the second question, they wanted anthemic music. What was this? What was the genre of that track?
So it's was actually one of the tracks that I submitted for live reviews that we did before. It was a sports type. I got it's like a sports type vibe pop that I did.
Okay.
They said that they liked it, but they needed something more antique.
Okay. Do you have what instrumentation did you have in that? I imagine.
I had like obviously hip hop songs. I had rap and strings, staccato style,
And it was vocals.
and just electric guitar for power chords itself. And then
Okay. Only thing I can think of, like, you have all the elements there. The only thing I can think of at this point is they wanted maybe a more repetitive hook, like something that's just super easy to remember, and it's like a chant, like something that like it's just stuck in your head. Always think of "We Will Rock You." Like, it's just a few words, and like that part stands out, and that's usually like the most popular part that people play first, and then it goes, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody knows that, they recognize that, and the rhythm on that too is super simple, like doom doom crap, doom doom crap. Like, everybody knows that when they hear it. So that's the only thing I can think of. Lyrically, maybe more repetitive and simple, that's easy to sing along to or rap along to, or maybe just simplifying the instrumentation.
the one that I submitted was I don't know, maybe not. I don't remember what that was. It just was something like we got it, everybody, so stay back for
Mm-hmm.
and that's the hook. Like mainly I repeat that 2 times, and then the rap and verse comes in.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that's tough, because that was a strong song in my opinion. This is what I would do. You could either ask them for examples and references. I always do that. Like, if I don't understand what they're talking about, I'm like, can you send me a couple references of what you mean by, anthemic? And then that way you'll be able to hear maybe what they're referencing to, whether it's lyric. You can even ask them, like, are you referring to like lyrically, performance wise, or musically? And then that'll give you more clarification. So you can do that just to kind of clarify exactly what they want or what they mean. Or you can take that song and pitch it to somebody else, and they'll probably sign it, and it'll be fine. Sometimes when you just know, like, it's a good song, just not a good fit for what you guys are looking for, I'll just do something else. Like, if I feel like it's a strong song, I'm not gonna go in and like rewrite the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, if it's a strong hook and lyrics are good, let's just create a new song, and send me some references of what you mean, and then I'll create something based off the references you send. That's how I would probably approach it.
So I was thinking about what other collaborators. I mean, her it though they responded back and they said that they loved it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm making a new song for the brief, so the one that they wanted more song, and that one to be up that they like. Okay,
You're breaking up a little bit.
I said that I sent that song off to another library. They loved it. They said that I sent that one to a library that loved it. Another one for for the library that wanted like a more anthemic song.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Yep, no problem, man. Oh, Aaron says can't hear him in the stream, just FYI. Oh, thanks for the heads up. It's probably because I didn't add. I probably had to add it. My bad. Y'all was literally just hearing me, a bunch of silence and me responding. But yeah, hopefully you still kind of got the context. I try and answer the question in a way that makes it make sense. But yeah, man, shout out to Miguel. Hopefully that works out though, because I think that song was fire. All right, let's see. Mr. B says, do you think that any royalty-free samples are used in sync without having to pay for rights later once it gets picked up? So many royalty-free samples are royalty not free. Yeah, I know. I agree. It's a slippery slope. Like, I think I don't know. I like to try and find those little non-popular websites that are owned by one person or something like that, like a couple people, like some random dude in Minnesota who creates his own sound packs or something, versus those big sites that everybody knows. And sometimes you can kind of use some stuff. It depends on what you're using it for too. But and again, I mean, I've used some Apple loops for different things that's out there getting plays. For example, what was it? Accordion sound. I was making some Italian hip hop stuff for TV and House Hunters International, and I just threw an accordion thing on there, but I just made sure I played a bunch of stuff over it as well, because once it gets singled out as just its own thing, that's when things kind of get weird. So, stuff like that I've used, and I guess I've gotten away with it, but for I don't do it a lot, only for situations where they're like, hey, it's okay to use this, or you can use this, just show us some type of paperwork that it is indeed royalty free, and ain't nobody gonna come after us asking for for some money. So yeah. Ever owned the NPC? Did you like the? Oh, I think he's talking to somebody else. What's up, the fire starter? Yes, indeed. Yeah. The meetups, Sync Producer Hub meetups. So yeah, definitely want to do that. What's up, Howard? Be thy name. Let me make sure I keep track of the time. Let me make sure my iPad is showing the right time. Last week, we was just going, answering questions. My iPad time was not updating, and I thought I had 20 additional minutes to answer questions. But it looks like everything is working properly this week. Happy Fridays. What are your thoughts on APM? Oh man, APM is they're a major distributor. You get something going through APM's network, bro, the amount of placements will grow exponentially. Ask Billy Big Shot Beats. I coached him through the same curriculum I go through in TV placement mastery, and the publishing deal that he ended up signing, they were distributed through APM. When I tell you, things escalated very, very quick for him, and he's a rare case that has gone through TV placement mastery and seen the amount of placements in a very short period of time. Number one, I feel what contributed to that was the fact that they asked him to produce a 10-track album. The publisher did. Then they featured that album on the front page, their main website. So all of their clients are going to the website, boom, you see the album. next. I wonder if it's still up there, just out of curiosity. But yeah, so that happened, and then it hit, all of APM's sub publishers and networking, and then he went from like a few placements trickling in to like in a matter of months having like hundreds of placements on TV. Like it escalated very, very quick. And like his tune sat was going nuts. I think before the end of the year, man, he probably had, now mind you, TuneSat will detect replays, but not including replays, he had like hundreds, like over 100, including all the detections on TuneSat in less than a year. Like it was probably like a few months, he had like over 800 and something detections on TuneSat. It was insane. So yeah, if you get hooked up with a publisher and they're going through one of those major networks like APM, your music can be exposed to a lot of different territories, a lot of different opportunities. So shout out to Big Shot Beats. So yeah, needless to say, that was a huge win. So yeah. Any idea why streaming services like Netflix, Hulu pay pennies? You think the royalties would be better for the views? Bro, I have no idea. Like I wonder, I feel like it's possibly the same situation as just streaming music like on Spotify. Like I don't think there was ever a system in place to properly compensate for streams of music placed on a Netflix or a Hulu. So I don't know, man. They need to change that, especially with more people streaming these, like just streaming in general. Like they need to figure this thing out, because it is definitely pennies, and it's very vague. Like on CSAC, they don't show you anything. I mean, like it'll say Netflix. I think it'll say the name of the track, and then I think, pennies after that. It'll show the amount of pennies you earned. It's crazy. So I don't know, man. I don't know. I like the most money you see on streaming services is the upfront sync fees from that stuff. On back end, it's not a lot. Now, what I have noticed is some countries, man, I've seen more royalties in some countries than others, especially in the US. And I'm not sure exactly why. And again, because it's so vague, I don't even know like what the show is, how many streams. Like I can't see any of that, at least with CSAC. ASCAP BMI members, let me know in the chat if you all see anything different. But literally, let me see if I can. Let me see. So yeah, like international royalties alone, on my last statement, I had like $600 and something, just international, and the bulk of that came from United Kingdom, and then the second highest amount was the Czech Republic, which is random. Like I don't know what's airing in Czech Republic, but it says Czech Republic. I don't even know if, okay, it says Czech Republic, Society is OSA, their song title, and then performance medium. So it'll either say television or audio visual streaming on demand. That's it. That's all I get. And then the amount of money. So that's it. They don't tell you anything. So you don't know what shows. But that was more than what I even earned in streaming domestically. Yeah, Amazon Prime. They show the percentage on this. Song title percentage, establishment or venue, Amazon Prime, pennies. And it's a long list of tracks. Amazon, I don't even know what show this is, but Amazon Prime, like I have like 29 pages of Amazon Prime stuff, 40 and counting. So I don't know. Hulu, here's Hulu. I got $1. I got $1.13 on Hulu from this ambient queue. That's not bad. It looks, Hulu may pay a little bit more than these other places. Peacock, no, Peacock pays a little bit more. Peacock, I got one, and I only had half the ownership of this one, and it paid $3.50. But see, this is the thing, though. I don't know if that $3.50 is, what is that? Is that one use? Is that 10,000 streams? Like, I don't know. It's vague. So I don't know. I'm in the dark on that one. Hopefully they fix it. So yeah. Is there a website to check out if something is actually royalty free? I don't think so. I mean, I won't say I don't think so. I don't know of one. But there may be something out there you can like upload a file and see, hey, has this been used, or somebody claiming this thing? You know what you can do? Like just a ghetto way to do it would be to upload it on TuneSat. Just upload the sample by itself on TuneSat and see if it picks up anything. That may work. So I don't know. When you are about to take a publishing deal, what are the key things to keep in mind before signing? This is a good question. So there's three things. I won't say I'll save the three things. That's a different approach. But for a publishing deal, is it exclusive or non-exclusive? If it is it exclusive to me as a writer, meaning all of my music has to go through this publisher, or is it only exclusive to the master recordings that I signed to that publisher? I want the latter, like exclusive to the masters that I signed to them, so that I'm free to do other deals with other publishers. That's the main thing. Second thing is, how long is it? Something to know. That's good to know. Like, is this something, hey, if 3-5 years from now, I don't see any traction, do I have the ability to pull this music out, put it into another library? Or is it in perpetuity? Like, you want to know, like, okay, if I give this to them, they're going to have it forever. That's it. And then you can kind of make a choice what you want to send them or whatever, go from there. So that's number 2 of knowing. And then number 3 is like what the splits look like in that deal. Typical is 50-50, meaning any upfront sync fees usually split 50-50. Royalties, you're kind of splitting that down the middle. And then that's that. Now, that depending on what kind of deal is, those numbers may look a little bit different, especially like on the upfront sync fees. Sometimes with one publisher, you may see different types of deals depending on what they're doing with their clients. So, you may see that upfront sync thing shift. There may be some buyout situations where they give you a chunk of money up front, and now you don't get any future upfront sync fees, but then you still continue to get back end royalties. So, you know, there's that to consider as well. So those are like kind of the main things I like to keep in mind before signing. Lily Allen said she makes more money selling feet pics than she gets for her streams. That's crazy. But yeah, like streams is, listen, like they can add up. Like, you know, they can add up. You get enough music out there, they can add up. You know, throw them into the bucket. It can be, you know, your I don't know, your gum supply or mints for the month or something. But you know, there's some people they make decent money off streaming, but they got music out there, and then there's a strategy behind how they promote the music to get more streams and things like that. But from the sync perspective, you know, yeah, we again, like I said, like $600 something is not bad. Internet. Now they mixed all of this stuff in here. So all of the $600 from the international is not all streaming. There's some TV stuff in here. So that's why that number is a little bit higher, because there's just some regular TV stuff in there. This is not all streaming. But we ain't even paying attention to the streaming stuff. That's just a bonus, you know. That's just, we'll just play around with that money. Go, I don't know, buy a I don't even know what much you can buy in terms of gear with that. You might be, if you catch a Black Friday sale, you might be able to snatch something up for like $19.99 or something like that. So yeah, probably a smaller issue to their fights about streaming numbers in general. They don't want that data to become public. Oh, bro, yeah, I could see, yeah, that turned into a huge issue once we were able to see like more information. Like, what? So yeah. In your experience, how much does a placement of around 20 seconds on a reality show pay on average? On a reality, depends on the network. It depends on the network. If we're talking cable, here's one. What was this? Basketball Wives on VH1. Missing Piece. I owned 100% of that. It was a feature use though. Feature uses get paid more. That was only 16 seconds, but because it was a feature use, and it was only on VH1, it wasn't a major network, it paid just under $16 just for that one use. Now, let's see if I can find a background use. Okay. Here is MTV Catfish. Same deal, on 100% of the song. It was a background use for about 32 seconds. That paid $5. Now, if we shifted things from those cable networks and then went to, here's another 20-second one. What is this? The different part of the day. Well, and then I only own half of this. But that was $2, like $2 and some change for that. 22 seconds, $3. So it could be like a few bucks up to whatever. Like the highest one I've seen so far on here is like $15. But then if we went to an NBC, a CBS, a Fox, that number could shift dramatically, depending on the type of use. So I had a 20-second placement on CBS football, Chicago Bears and Green Bay Packers. That one was $20 for 20 seconds. And that's kind of low, honestly. if that would have got closer to the minute mark, probably could have pushed. That probably could have pushed up to close to 100 on CBS. That was CBS, right? So just depends on the network, time of day, type of use, all of that stuff. So yeah, it's so hard to create an average because it's so many different variables to everything. Flair says Clint can get the extra guac next time from Chipotle. Thanks to Peacock. Exactly. Extra chicken? Nah, maybe just extra guac. We gonna stick with the extra guac. Well, we need to get on TV to get the extra chicken, right? Kel Key says, if I submitted something for sync, should I not register it on ASCAP? Depends on the situation, Kel. If you're submitting it to a publisher you have a deal with, they typically register that with ASCAP on your behalf. If you're working directly with, that just reminded me, with a music supervisor, then I would recommend registering that on ASCAP yourself and making sure that stuff is in place. And I need to do that for some tracks. So good question. CZAC is invite only, right? Yes, it is. It is invite only. Gum supply, man. I'm telling you, use those streaming royalties to stock up on gum. Royalties can definitely add up. Hopefully one day we can see real-time payment instead of quarterly. That would be amazing. Can you imagine that? Like literally every time something hits, like you get a notification, direct deposit on a daily basis, weekly basis. That would be dope. So yeah. Feature use is like when there's no one talking over the music. So let's say like a scene transition where, you know, it's just that music playing and you see the city. Like that's a featured use. Or if there's like a song that just starts playing because somebody just broke up and, you know, they're just doing this montage thing and all you hear is like the song and the vocals and things like that for a while. That's like a feature use. And then if it's a featured vocal, it'll pay even more. So yeah. Thank you, G5. I appreciate y'all keeping me in the loop with the time. One last question from Darren says, if approached by a network to create a theme song for a new TV show, what type of terms of the deal would you want? So I heard a wise person say once, like, try and get 2 out of the 3. So either it's going to be a super dope opportunity and would be amazing for your career and will absolutely open up more doors and more work. That's one. Number 2, get a very nice upfront payment to produce the theme song. And then number 3 is, you know, your back end royalties for that theme song playing for however long it's on TV. Try and get like 2 out of the 3. Never just 1. But if you can get 2, you're good. So if you can get a nice little upfront payment plus royalties, you're good. If you can get some dope exposure plus a nice little upfront payment, you're good. If you can get royalties and exposure, that's good. No upfront payment, I'll take it. Especially if it's a theme song. If it's a theme song though, I would absolutely want royalties no matter what. I'll do a theme song with no upfront money for the royalties, especially like, cause I mean, it's a theme song. And then if that show is successful, like, you know, a lot of the shows that we grew up watching is like still playing now. Yeah, like your children's children are eating off your royalties from that joint. So that's it. All right. it's time to transition. We're about to get into these live music reviews, so make sure y'all stick around on the channel here on YouTube, and then we're gonna get that joint started up. Shout out to everybody in the stream. Shout out to everybody in Sync Producer Hub. These were dope questions. If you haven't gotten your ticket, go to shadesofsync.com for the Sync conference that's happening on November 9th here in Atlanta. And then on November 8th, the night before, we got a little pregame show for y'all. We're doing like a listening party, bringing in some dope people to listen and critique your music as we get ready for the big day where we're gonna drop mad gems on you. Man, we have some heavy hitters in the building this year. It's gonna be insane. So get your ticket literally like before this weekend is over, because prices are about to shoot up. Go to shadesofsync.com. The link is in the description as well. Grab that, and yeah, I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. All right, peace.